If you could change any choice you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of the Inspired Choices Show, business optimization expert, Christine McIver.
Yes. This is me, Christine McIver, coming to you hot from the production center of Inspired Choices. I don't know where that came from. How are you, everyone? It's so wonderful to have you here. If you are listening live, thank you. If you're listening in a replay, well, how does it get any better than that? Do you know what? Bringing these shows to you each and every week is actually a highlight of mine. Not only do I get to bring to you what I feel is important and what I've been asked to speak to, but I get to bring to you something new to really expand you into a greater possibility with business. And if you're someone that is looking to grow your business, if you're looking for to actually expand your business and you're not exactly sure how, or you would like to learn new ways to kind of get yourself out there with your business and get your business even stronger, I would love for you to connect with me. I'm a business optimization expert. I've worked with businesses and business owners for many, many years. I've been in the business field for probably 30 years now, and I absolutely love business. When somebody loves what they do and they've been successful, they can support other people. And that's what I love to do. I love to support business owners so that they can have more joy and pleasure in their business. So you can email me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca, and we can have a conversation and see if it would be a match. So today's show, we are talking about how to trust your ideas when others don't. Oh my gosh, do you ever feel like you are pushing or trying to prove or defend your ideas? Do you trust your own ideas, or do you look to others for trust before you become willing to support your ideas? Your ideas require your trust, not the trust of others. Your business has come to you because you hold the correct energy and combination of successful ingredients. Moving you into that space of trusting you is the ultimate ingredient. So in this show, How to Trust Your Ideas When Others Don't, I'm going to provoke you to stand up for yourself and make your knowing of what is possible the only thing that matters. Can you imagine actually making what you know the only thing that matters? Have you ever even imagined that? You know, most business people, they go into business primarily with an idea. They get excited about their idea. And then when they start to bring it into the world, even from the first moment that they share it with someone, other people start to question it. So generally what happens is people will, share it with somebody, that a family member, and they will be so excited because that excitement is so robust inside of them, they can't hold it in, and they will share it with someone that they love. And the very first thing that happens oftentimes is those people that love us want to protect us. And so they start to say, are you sure? Are you sure, Christine? You went to school for this. Why are you giving all that up? Like, you invested all this money in going to school for, in my case, human resources. Why are you giving that all up? You've never done that before. What if you fail? What happens? All of a sudden, the air of excitement is completely burst, and your business idea starts to fall into the corner, and you start to fall into sadness. It is so true. My producer, Sarah, is agreeing with me. It's so true. We are so excited. We want to share our business ideas with others because instinctively, we have a knowing inside of us that yes. And then we are looking for approval outside of ourselves. We believe that what we're doing is we're sharing the excitement. But when we're sharing this with other people, what we start to do, and unconsciously start to do, is we start to look for approval. We want other people, raise your hands if this is you, we want other people to get on the train of this is an amazing idea, and we want their approval, we want their excitement. And so we share the idea with them, and then we wait with excitement, with bated breath. We wait for them to go, oh my God, that is an amazing idea. And most times that's not actually what occurs, which is so sad, because that idea is still a really amazing idea for you. And what's important for you to understand from that little example is that it is an idea for you, not for somebody else, that our loved ones want to protect us. So the first thing that they go to do is they go to evaluate with their brain. They're using their mind to evaluate the good and the bad of this. And they're looking outside of themselves at what other people have done, and they're looking for what's harmful. Well, we don't want you to do that because of this. We don't want you to do this because of that. They're looking for what is harmful because they want to protect you. They cannot, and I want you to hear me very clearly, they cannot tap into the excitement and the possibility of that idea because they're not connected to it like you are. They can't see it. They don't have that gut knowing inside of them that this is an amazing idea. And what if it is a crazy idea? What if it is? Let's say it is the craziest idea you've ever had, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've got this knowing. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to do it. So you do it. As long as you're not like, putting your house on the line or going into extreme debt, if you're still willing to say, okay, that didn't fly, but you're willing to learn from it and you're willing to grow from it, or you're maybe willing to modify it based on what you are learning as you go along and how you're feeling, what your knowing is telling you, you're not failing, you're growing, you're evolving, you're learning. That is the best thing that you could possibly do. Nobody has gone into business ever. No one has ever gone into business and it has been perfect out of the gate. It does not happen. We all learn. We all grow. We all get frustrated. We all feel like, oh, why am I doing this? This is insane. And then we go to bed and have a good night rest and have something good to eat in the morning. And we wake up and we come back to the truth of what is going on for us. One of the biggest things that a lot of people do in business is they don't get the support that they actually need. Running a business is a lot of work. And the thing is that most of us have never run a business before. When we're doing our first business, we've never run a business like that business. And we don't know all the hills and the valleys that we're going to hit. We just don't know. And so one of the best things that you can do is you can have someone there to support you, someone that you can bounce ideas off of, somebody that is supportive of you, that believes in what you're doing, and that knows you're strong enough to, quote unquote, fail at this business and still pick up and go again. Having someone there that you can bounce ideas off of, and somebody that can maybe show you a different perspective to consider, is really, really helpful. Because what happens oftentimes is we get these ideas, they're absolutely fantastic. We get going with our business, and then we hit a speed bump, right? We hit a speed bump. And, we might hear the sounds of those family members in our head going, see, I told you shouldn't have done this. And we might start to feel the old messages of doubt that we've lived with, that we haven't released, right? And all of a sudden, everything can start to contract and we can start to go into massive doubt. But when you have someone there, when you have a support person that is working with you, challenging you, really showing you some new perspectives, you can step out of that heaviness and you can start to look around at what options that you have, maybe some things that you've never considered. Honestly, I've been in business now for 15 years. And truthfully, when people ask me, what's the one thing that you would do different? The one thing that I would do differently is I would hire a business coach right from the very beginning. because I didn't know how to take all of these ideas that I had and how to structure them to support me out of the gate. So I probably spent the first 3 or 4 years of my business trying to self-teach myself how to do things, and in the arena that where I've never been before. And so what I did is I spent a great deal of time teaching myself or searching for what I thought was the right information, trying different things, where if I had actually hired a business coach, they could have given me some direction. They could have maybe connected me with people that they knew, or they could have reached out to their network of people and seen who some of them might know to support me. And, being willing to be vulnerable with a business coach can also save you a great deal of time. Because what most of us are doing is when we are in this place of doubt, we either completely drown in it, and we run away from our ideas, or we just keep going along with those rose-colored glasses on, ignoring what's going on around us. And we just keep trying to push that elephant up the hill and push and push and push. And we do that for so long, nearly to the point that we have drained all of our resources, our physical resources, our emotional resources with friends and family, with loved ones, and of course our financial resources. And then before you know it, everything is tapped out. And that can take a really, really big toll on us. It's a lesson that I've learned from. It's a lesson I know a lot of people have learned from, but it's not a lesson you have to learn from. Today, I have coaches that I work with. I absolutely have coaches that I work one-on-one with every single week. And I'm really grateful. It has sped up my growth. It's sped up my understanding of myself. It has shone a light in areas where I need to continue to grow and where I need to challenge myself. And it has been a huge source of support, where in those moments where I didn't believe in myself, that they could show me evidence where they believe in me and where I should be believing in myself as well. So that saves me a great deal of emotional baggage. It saves me a great deal of trial and error. And it also really adds to my business knowledge for me to be able to grow faster and faster in my business. And ultimately, what happens is I have a lot more fun in my business because it's not a struggle. So really understanding parts of what's going on for us and how important our business is, that the business idea that's come to us, what we need to do when that business idea comes to us, those are the parts rather, that start to build the trust within us and within our ideas when others don't. So we are coming up to our break of the show. And I just want to let you know that trusting you is a journey. It's not something that happens out of the gate. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't trust yourself right now. It's your desire. If you have a desire and you're willing to be open to learning and growing, and you're open to saying, yes, I'm learning to trust myself, and I know that I will get there, you're halfway there. You really, really are halfway there. It's where are you coming from? What's the energy and the perspective you're coming from with your ideas and with your trusting within yourself? That's going to get you there even faster. So if you would like to connect with me, if you'd like to learn more about how you can be supported, please email me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca, or you can check out my over 300 episodes that I have done with my show, Inspired Choices with Christine McIver. You can check it out on Inspired Choices Network, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts or you watch your favorite TV shows. You'll be able to find me there. So stick around, my friends. We're just going to go for a quick break. When we get back, we're going to dive into more of learning to trust your ideas. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh my gosh, trusting you and trusting your ideas. How many of us just doubt ourselves constantly? Or we think that, we've never done this before, so we can't possibly be right. Have you ever heard that in your head? What are the voices saying in your head when they are actually pulling you back from your knowing? So here's a really, really big thing I want you to understand is that your ideas are actually coming to you because of your combination of who you are. Your business comes to you so it can come through you. I've said that a million times, so you already know that, but it's a reminder that the ideas that you are getting, they are not just pie in the sky ideas. These ideas are coming because of an energy that you are and an ask that you've been putting out to the universe, not necessarily writing down specifically, I want this. Certainly my business didn't come to me that way, or my ideas didn't come to me that way, but from an energy of possibilities that you have been is why the ideas are coming to you. Now, just like a buffet, unless you step up to that buffet and you taste what's on that buffet, you are not going to know what is a yes for you and what is a no. So if you don't give something a try, if you're saying no to everything until you have the perfect answer, how are you ever going to trust in something new? So if you're looking for something new, if you're asking for ideas to come to you, if you're asking for more creativity, if you are not willing to try something new, you're not willing to trust that you have your own back and you have your ideas back. And this is really important to understand. So as you start to grow and as you start to ask for more ideas and more ideas, you've got to be willing to say yes. And, if you've been around, you'll know that what I always say on every show, at the end of every single show, is you can always make another choice. And that specific line came from my journey in making choices and not feeling confident. That came from my journey in saying, oh my gosh, what if I fail? What if I mess everything up? We live in a world where we are holding our breath, hoping to God that the choices that we make are correct. That action, that behavior is holding us back from new possibilities that are wanting to come to us. So it's like we have blinders on in our lives and we're looking for the perfect answer. If you are looking for the perfect car, or you're looking for the perfect house, or you're looking for the perfect job, or you're looking for the perfect lover, or you're looking for the perfect even child, can you imagine that you have a child and you look at them and you go, this behavior of yours doesn't work for me. You're not the perfect child. So A, I guess I failed at having a child. And B, I don't really think I want to be connected with you anymore. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't throw your child away, right? So why are you throwing your ideas away? If you've never had a child before, you don't know what it is to experience having your own child and raising your own child. If you've never had your own business before, you don't know what it is to have your own business, and you don't know who you are when you are in business. You don't. It's a very different dance than actually working in somebody else's business. There's a lot of joy. There's definitely more responsibility, and there's more opportunity to create. But if you are listening to those voices of doubt and you're giving them more credence than you're giving your own knowing, you're not going to trust yourself, and you're not going to allow yourself to step into the possibilities of something new being created. So one of the biggest things in learning how to trust your ideas when others don't is checking in with you, is checking in with your intuition. So your intuition is what's in you, right? And I give some very simple examples. If you're someone who absolutely loves chocolate, and I say to you, would you like to have a bowl of peaches for dinner, or would you like to have a piece of chocolate cake? Your mind is going to say, well, obviously, I'm going to use I'm going to say yes to chocolate cake because I love chocolate cake. That's using your mind. But if you were to check in with your intuition, what's inside of you, including your body, that your body connects to you and communicates with you all of the time, your body is one of your greatest assets in checking in on your intuition. And you actually ask, what would be the greatest benefit? What would bring me the greatest joy? And your body might tell you peaches. And if you were to trust to follow your knowing on the peaches, and you went into it with an open heart and an open mind, and you began to eat the peaches, you might enjoy those peaches 10 times more than you ever even imagined. But if you were always going to conclusion of, I always eat chocolate cake, how much are you missing out on in the world? If you make up your mind that this is who I am, this is what I look like, this is what I believe in, this is what brings me joy, you are defining who you are. Okay? Stay with me. You're defining who you are, and you are actually putting up walls around you in your world to new possibilities. When you are defining yourself and defining your business, you are not open to receive. So when a new idea does come in, and when it barely makes its way into you, you're not going to trust it, because you've already concluded that this is who you are. This is who your business is. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very important for you to understand that in order to trust your own ideas, you first of all have got to be open to new ideas, and you've got to be willing to try something new. Many people, and I hope this isn't you, but many people are going through their lives really evaluating something, making a decision about something until they give it an opportunity. We're cutting off opportunities before they're even able to contribute to us. I know so many people out there that they're saying again and again, you know, I really need my business to grow. I'd really like to have a successful business. I'd like to make more money. I'd like to have more clients. And they end up doing this push energy towards other people, trying to get them to buy into what they've already decided is the answer. But if they are willing to work with their own knowing, they're willing to work with their businesses, and they're willing to work with the universe, and they're willing to ask, what would be an amazing creation? Those creations will come, but we've got to be willing to receive them. That's so, so important. We've got to be willing to receive those ideas. And when those ideas come, and we remember that we've been asking for those ideas, and really writing these things down to remind yourself, asking some questions each day of, oh, I would love this. I would love to have some new ideas. I would love to have some new possibilities come my way. And we write that down. And when these new possibilities come, remind ourselves, I'm no longer going to judge opportunities that come my way. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to go on an adventure to discover what this idea could be with me and for me. I'm willing to say yes. Are you willing to say yes? Are you willing to come out of your doubt and worry and allow other people to keep the doubt and the worry to themselves and start to step into the possibilities that are trying to come to you? It's like that old joke, you know, I'm sure everybody has heard it, where you are, there's a flood and you're on the roof of a house, and God sends somebody by in a rowboat, and they say, no, thanks very much. I'm waiting. You know, God's going to send help. And then the next thing that comes by is a great big liner ship. And you're like, no, thanks very much. God will take care of me. And then next comes a helicopter, and the guy says, no, thanks very much. I'm waiting for God to help me. And the next thing you know, he's dead, goes to heaven, and he says, God, why didn't you help me? He says, well, what were you expecting? I sent a rowboat, I sent a ship, and I sent a helicopter. You've got to be willing to say yes. So are you willing to say yes to new possibilities? Are you willing to actually go on an adventure with new ideas? This entire network, the Inspired Choices Network, my show, and the thousands and thousands and thousands of shows that we have in the library that are there for everybody's access, and all of the people that have grown their business because of this network, came out of that very action. When I was asked many, many years ago, would I consider being a producer, wasn't on my platform, it was on someone else's, would I consider, I didn't shut the idea down. Now my brain went, no, you're a business professional. That's not something you do. I just said, okay, stop. I'm just going to ask some more questions. And I just said, okay, tell me what it would be like. And as I did that, and I started to get shown what the possibilities were, I said yes. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give this a try. So I started to talk to a few different people. And I said, hey, have you ever thought about, back then it was just a radio show, have you ever thought about having a radio show? What's that like? And so I started to share with them the possibilities of what that could do for them and their business and their courses that they were teaching and their speaking opportunities and so on. And people started to say yes. And within 6 months of me being open to that possibility, I had an entire network of hosts that were saying, I'm open to this possibility. And then I became the least owner of that platform. So if I wasn't willing to say yes to an opportunity, to even go on an adventure of discovery with that idea, this network would never have been. It just wouldn't. It would. There's lots of networks out there, not as good as ours, but there's lots of networks out there. And, people, if they were meant to have a show, they would have had a show somewhere else. But this one wouldn't have come to fruition. This one wouldn't have happened. And it was because of that very thing that I was willing to say yes to discovering the possibility of a new idea. So when you are doing this, when you are open to discovering the possibility of a new idea, and you do that again and again and again, that's how you begin to build up your trust in yourself, and the trust in the ideas. There is a lot of things that also play into this, but I want you to just sit with that for a minute. We're going to go for another break. And when we get back, we're going to dive in deeper into how you can trust it even more, especially over other people's thoughts about your ideas. So stick around. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends. So we're talking about trust and trust in your ideas when others don't. So if you missed the first two segments of the show, please do go back. We were talking about how those ideas are so important that they came to you, and how it's important that you begin to be willing to be open to these new ideas. So if you are understanding that the energy of your business and the energy of your ideas is coming to you because of your energy, so it's an energy match. Most people know what the law of attraction is. It's not just about the things that you wish for. It's also the energy that you just be, and ideas will come to you. So you might have, if you go back to your first business, that may have come to you without you actually seeking to have your own business. And that's actually occurred for many, many people, where somebody has maybe pitched something to them and it turned something inside of them on, and they got very, very excited about it, but it wasn't something that they were specifically asking for. But it's the energy that you are being. There's energetic matches all over the place, and sometimes we can't recognize it out of the gate and we don't understand why. But when we're open to those energetic matches coming, and we're willing to really play with them and go on an adventure of discovery with them, they can really contribute to things that we didn't even realize that we were desiring. Again, it's the energy that we be. It's not primarily the words. It's not what you're writing down. Again, it's the energy that you be. And yes, writing your words down and doing gratitude lists is great. And actually using very empowering words is fabulous. But nothing is greater than the energy that you are being. So if you are moving through life with an adventurous mind, with an open to possibilities mind, those ideas that are a match to you will come to you. And as you are willing to receive those ideas, and you are willing to really play with those ideas and go on a discovery with those ideas, and and unpack them and see what happens. Let's go back to my example of me being a producer. I was a human resources professional. That was definitely an industry that I could have gone back into. I was also a life coach, and that was something that I was doing at that time. I was also teaching some different classes. So when this opportunity came along, it was a great opportunity, but it wasn't something that I was directly seeking. And it certainly wasn't something that was going to be bringing in, hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the gate. It was something that I needed to really be with and see the possibilities with it. So it wasn't something that I hung my hat on, that it was going to be some big contribution to me and my business. So I went into the mindset with, hey, this is a possibility. Let's see what this is all about. But also knowing that I trusted myself and I had my own back. And that if it wasn't a match for me, if it was going to be just not something that was going to contribute in the long run to my business or in the long run to myself, or if it was going to take more from me than actually contribute, I knew that I could say, okay, well, this wasn't the right match for me. But in that, I would have learned something. You're always learning, you're always learning, you're always learning. And there's so many times in our lives when we've had different opportunities where suddenly, maybe not suddenly, but maybe years and years later, we will have an opportunity to use that knowledge and that expertise in a new adventure. And so everything that you are exposed to, that you are invited into, every book you read, every conference you go to, every speaker you listen to, if you go into it with the mindset of, I wonder what's here for me, and you're willing to take something and bring it into you and have it be part of your new knowledge base, it can add to you growing and evolving. And so as you are willing to be open and you trust that you have your own back, and you know that, okay, if this producing thing hadn't worked, right, don't have to hang my head in shame. I don't have to buy into somebody else saying, see, I told you should have done this thing. It's like, one of the things that people do as well is they go the opposite way and they go, well, screw you, let me show you. And then they actually do break the bank trying to prove that they were right. And whenever you've got proving energy in something, there is a part of this that you don't believe in. So check yourself. Are you doing something so that you can prove somebody else wrong? You don't have to prove something. You don't have to stack the deck to prove it to anyone if that's something that really does resonate with you and it's a yes for you. So that's a very important piece that we miss out on, that we ignore, because we have egos, and we're always going to have an ego. It's not a bad thing, but understand that that ego can also be a guidepost to you that, oh, you're letting this get away from you. You're allowing other people to poke you and to really move you in a direction that's not going to be a contribution for you. So you want to check in on the most important person in your business is you. So you can have business advisors, you can have business coaches, you can have consultants, you can have people that are huge supporters of you. But at the end of the day, you're knowing what is true for you, what really lights you up and gives you a yes. That's the most important energy. That's the most important thought. That one gets the most votes. That one absolutely gets the most votes. It's not that you should ignore family. It's not that you should ignore people that love you. But what you want to do is, before you ever share it with a loved one that generally wants to keep you safe, what you want to do is you want to get very clear about what is true for you about this idea. And have a colleague, have a business coach, have someone who is a cheerleader of yours and believes in your ability to trust yourself. Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, and there will be people in our lives that do believe in us, and they will believe in us until we believe in ourselves. Do you have someone like that in your life? That is one of the most important roles to have in your world, is someone that believes in you, not somebody that is, pie in the sky, everything, nothing you do is wrong, not that type of person, but someone who's very solid, is direct and upfront with you, but also is willing to believe in you while you grow to believe in yourself. And that person can be such an amazing resource for you when they are willing to give you the truth, and they're willing to challenge you. They're willing to challenge you to believe in yourself. You've got to also want to look at other people who don't believe in your ideas. Why are you sharing your ideas with them? What is it that you are hoping to gain from sharing your idea with them? Are you looking for approval? Are you looking for them to buy into your business? Are you looking for them to be your first client? Why are you sharing the idea? That is a question you want to ask yourself, because oftentimes when we are sharing an idea, if we are not fully confident in ourselves or in our idea, we are seeking something from that person. And unfortunately, they don't understand what's going on within you, and they may likely let you down. So ask yourself, what is the purpose in me sharing this idea with them? Now, I'm someone who gets very excited about a new idea. And over the years, I have shared it with people who have poo-pooed my ideas. And it has been really upsetting to me. And I needed to learn, who can I share my ideas with that will be supportive, regardless if I move forward, if it's a success, or if it's something that I've just tried on and it just doesn't fit. Who is that? And so when you learn to identify what it is that you require from someone, what it is that would really support you as you move forward, you can then start to trust yourself even more and even more, because you're not, here you are over here, in the center of your world with your ideas. And then you share your idea with someone, and suddenly you're pulled into their world around their beliefs and their opinions and what they decide is successful, or what's going to hurt you, or what's going to, not be a contribution to you. So you're over there in their world, and you need to be back in your world. You need to be connected with your world and what's important to you and what's true for you. Remember, it's not true for them. It's true for you. And when you understand that you can always make another choice, that you can give yourself the opportunity to see what something would be like, it's not something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. It's certainly not something that, is going to put you in harm's way, or it's not something that's going to, take all of your money, all of your income. It's not something that's going to completely drain everything from you. You can see that you get to try something. And as you're trying something and you keep trying it and you keep trying different ideas, you will learn what works for you. And that's where you start to trust yourself. So when the ideas come, you can trust that you will be able to check in with yourself. You'll be able to check in on what is honestly a contribution for you. Another thing to do is, when an idea comes to you, give it time. And I always say, give it time to bake. Give it time, write it down, be with the idea. See what else wants to be brought to you around that idea. I have got a lot of ideas. I write them all down. Sometimes those ideas come very quickly. They come to fruition very, very quickly. And sometimes they take time to bake. They take time to have additional information added to them so that they can actually come to fruition and come into the world. So what are you willing to do for you? What are you willing to do for your ideas? Are you willing to have your own back in business? Are you willing to have your ideas owned back? Are you willing to go on an adventure with your ideas? How is anything ever going to grow if you're not willing to try something new? Nothing new would be created if we all tried to just stay in our lane and not try something new. What a boring world that we would have. And you didn't come here to be bored. You came here to have an adventure in life. So it's time for you to be willing to trust yourself, regardless of what anyone else is saying out there, regardless of the way they do it. There's a lot of things in my business that I do differently than other businesses do that are in my industry. And I absolutely know that mine's different, but I have a unique value proposition today to offer my clientele that other people don't, because I was willing to play with different possibilities. And this can be true for you as well. So I want you to sit with that. I want you to think about the possibilities and learning to trust yourself. What is it that you could choose tomorrow that would have you move more directly in alignment with trusting you? Ask yourself that question while we go to our next break. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices Show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends. So we've gone through a lot tonight. We've been talking about how to trust your ideas when others don't. Let me ask you this question. How valuable is other people's opinions about your ideas? How much weight do you put into other people's beliefs about your ideas? It's a very, very powerful question, and it can be an incredibly provoking question because we have to look at that. I'm challenging you to look at that. What is that for you? If you are seeking approval outside of you for your business, is when you get an idea, and even this can be personal too. This doesn't have to be in regards to business, but when you are seeking, as soon as some idea comes to you and you're going outside of you to share this idea, how much weight have you put into their opinion about your idea? It's a very, very difficult thing to look at sometimes because we may start to discover that we've actually given them more power and over our own belief in our own ideas. Now, if you know that that person has done something, let's say they've gone on a cruise for a month, and you contact that person and you say, hey, I'm thinking about going on a cruise. I'd like your opinion. You're looking for their experience. and they're giving you knowledge. Now, when somebody's doing that and they're giving you knowledge, put that knowledge down and consider it and weigh that knowledge against your intuition about what is true for you. So they may have a preference to have a quieter experience, and they didn't realize perhaps that a cruise is very loud. I don't know. I've never been on a cruise, so I'm making this up. But they may have a certain preference that they really enjoy quiet dinners, or maybe they like certain types of entertainment, or, different things like that. You've got to weigh, well, is that true for me? And then you're taking in the information, their experience, and you're weighing it against what is true for you. But if you are taking your ideas out to people and you are looking for approval so that you can feel confident to move forward, you're not trusting yourself. So what is required is for you to learn to start trusting your own knowing. And this is where we need to start doing some exercises around learning to trust ourselves. We have known things about ourselves for our entire lives, but society teaches us that we have to go to school to learn. That and when we go to school, you've heard this so many times where they say, okay, Billy, build a house, make a house, draw a house, and Billy draws the wildest looking house, and the teacher comes and says, no, use a ruler and make this straight, and so on and so forth. Was Billy says, to hell with you, teacher, and goes on to be one of the most glorious architects in the world. Billy trusted himself. He trusted his knowing. But most people, that is not the case, that we are looking to authority to tell us what is right and wrong instead of listening to our inner self. So if that's you, the good news is that you can learn today to start listening to yourself yet again, and start simply. Start by asking yourself some very, very simple questions like, okay, body, would you like to go to bed? And if you've just woken up, right, you're awake, you're wide awake, and you start to play with this, your body will start to give you sensations of a yes or a no. And you can do that with food. You can do that with very little things. And as you start to do this, you will start to exercise that muscle of trusting your knowing. Now, this is certainly something that you can learn. Sometimes it goes a little faster. Sometimes it might take you some time to learn to trust your ideas. But please know that everything that you need, your knowing is within you. You do not need other people's outside opinions to make it true for you. There's so much that we can be sharing. We're coming to a close on today's show. Next week, our show is about how to motivate yourself when you're not motivated. Oh my gosh, I have been there. Who hasn't been there? If you're someone out there that is looking for business support, I would love to invite you to consider the strategic business package that I have, where I work one-on-one with an entrepreneur. It's several hours we work together, and we really look at what your business needs and where you want to be in 6 months from now, and how to start putting things in place to have that happen. So until then, my friends, I really hope that this show has been a contribution to you, and I hope that you will consider leaning in more and learning to trust yourself, because you and your business ideas can be a great success if you are willing to open up to that and to really exercise that muscle of trust. You have got everything that you require, and it's just a matter of being willing to dive into it a little bit deeper, perhaps have some support along the way, and be willing to believe that anything truly is possible when you get out of your mindset of, oh my gosh, this has never happened for me. So until we see you next week, I want you to remember that there are so many resources here on Inspired Choices Network, thousands of content that you can tap into, listen to grow yourself and to grow your business, to check on your finances, on your relationships. We have such an array of choice there for you. And of course, until next week, I want you to remember, no matter what, you can always make another choice. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next Wednesday as usual. Mwah. Bye for now, my friends.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.